Hey world, what up? So we got LeBron James who's going to pretty much capture his fourth NBA championship here on Friday night. Lakers are up 3-1. They're going to rock out their Black Mamba jerseys. Um, they're pretty much, I think they're 4-0, 5-0 in those jerseys. I think it was 4-0. Soon to be 5-0. We can all expect a championship to be given to the Los Angeles Lakers on Friday night. So meaning LeBron James is going to rack up another championship, his fourth all time, three different franchises. Pretty much the topic for discussion today on this video, which kind of intrigued me to kind of hop in on here. The best running mate for LeBron James he's had in the NBA. Now, the top three guys we usually think of are Dwyane Wade, Kyrie Irving, and now Anthony Davis is in the equation. We can all agree to pretty much push off the list Kevin Love and Chris Bosh. Um, when it came to Chris Bosh, he was a great teammate. He was the third option with the Miami Heat. But of course, we all knew Dwyane Wade was on another level, and they kind of pushed Chris Bosh more as a shooter on the outside and a defender, rebounder. So we're not going to include him, of course. Everyone can agree on that. Kevin Love, don't even get me started. Um, so now we have LeBron James and his three teammates. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to rank them on our order. We're going to hear Mr. Brian Windhorse on this take alongside with Greeny here. But let them jump in. I'll give my take, and we'll go from there.
Wendy, there's no more delicious way to kick off a Friday show than with a question like that. In your mind, if you were to vote on my Twitter poll today, who's the best running mate LeBron James has had in his championship career? Dwyane Wade, Kyrie Irving, or Anthony Davis?
Yeah, so the question was basically the best running mate in LeBron James's championship career. So we got to take into account 2012 and 2013 when LeBron won with the Heat with Dwyane Wade. You have 2016 with Kyrie Irving. And then now it's going to be 2020 with Anthony Davis. Based on those four different years, how I would rank it right now would be number one has to be Anthony Davis at 2020. Number two would have to be for me Dwyane Wade, of course, for 2012 and 2013. I mean, you can put either or. He's won two chips with them. And then lastly, for a championship teammate, would have to be Kyrie Irving at number three. And again, this is if LeBron James and Anthony Davis were to win the 2020 chip, which they will be. I mean, 99% they're going to win it. I mean, I would say 100, but you never know. But I'm just assuming Anthony Davis won with LeBron James. Now, my reason being, when it came to here in the 2020 season, Anthony Davis was a top 7 player in the world. He was pretty much number 2 as a Defensive Player of the Year award candidate. Anthony Davis could give you 28 to 33 a night. And Anthony Davis was dominating both on the offensive side and the defensive side on the court. So basically, Anthony Davis he wasn't the man of the team because it was LeBron as an impact player. But LeBron's never had a player like Anthony Davis, a young cat, 26, 27 years old, in his prime, that can play the way defensively on the court, dictate the offense offensively, both on the perimeter and inside. And he was a dominant force. And especially in the playoffs, no team could stop Anthony Davis. Now, if you're looking at Dwyane Wade, a lot of cats are going to say D Wade as number one. I agree with you. If we're saying how many championships total, you would have to put D Wade one. But if we're just talking about one regular season, a championship season with LeBron and his teammates, you got to go with AD, D Wade, and then Kyrie Irving.
So I've thought about this a lot, and I've thought about how to frame it because when you use the word best, it gets people's backs up. And also, Anthony Davis and LeBron haven't accomplished anything yet, whereas he's got rings with other guys. So what I have elected to say is that Anthony Davis is the most all-encompassing or best all-around teammate he's ever had. And, you know, if you're looking for ways to back it up beyond the eye test, he's never played with a first-team All-NBA player, as Anthony Davis is. He's never played with a first-team All-Defensive player, as Anthony Davis is. Dwyane Wade had a lot of advantages, Chris Bosh as well, and then you just talked about some of the things Kyrie could do. But as far as what he brings all around, I think it's a huge thing. And then there's one important factor that makes LeBron so happy to play with Anthony Davis. LeBron cares and is invested in statistics. Not that it's something that drives him, but when LeBron connects with Anthony Davis, he gets assists. You know, LeBron moving to point guard and assisting Anthony Davis. I think he assisted Anthony Davis more than anybody else in the league this year. The LeBron to Anthony Davis connection was the #1 assist connection in the league. He has a tangible thing that he can show and be a part of, where he gets sort of a tally for his cooperation with that player. And so I don't want to make it sound like he's surface level like that, but it's not worth nothing.
No, those things.
Yeah, Anthony Davis has always been the better fit for a teammate for LeBron James. Because during this time period, LeBron doesn't play the small forward position anymore. LeBron likes to run either the point forward or the point guard role, meaning LeBron needs to kick it out for assist. And Anthony Davis, both in the perimeter or the post, LeBron can feed him, and LeBron can rack up a league assist high this season, 11 assists per game, and Anthony Davis could give you around at least 27 a game. So it was more ideal. And it was a good pairing for the 2020 season, as we can see the dominance for the two. LeBron was second in MVP voting, and then now we have in the bubble in the playoffs, Anthony Davis was quote-unquote the MVP of the bubble for the Lakers, and in the finals, it was close between the both of them, and it is still close right now, but LeBron's pretty much going to rack up the finals MVP. Now, if you look at any other championship runs for LeBron James of winning in 2012, 13, or 16, Dwyane Wade pretty much was not that guy in 2012 or 2013. LeBron was head over heels over Dwyane Wade in those years. Dwyane Wade's knees were pretty much coming to get to him, somewhat of his age. And you started to see Dwyane Wade kind of decline a little bit as he was. Now, if you're talking about the greatest LeBron teammate in the year, it's either a debate of Anthony Davis in 2020 or Dwyane Wade in 2011. Now, in 2011, D-Wade was a top 5 player in the league. In the 2010 season, Dwyane Wade was cooking out there with the Miami Heat. He was on another level athletically and with his swag. Now, whenever LeBron James joined D-Wade and Chris Bosh on the Miami Heat Big Three, it was such a big deal because Dwyane Wade was a top 5 player in the league. You know, he was alongside with a Dirk, a Dwight Howard, a Kevin Durant, a Kobe Bryant, LeBron. They were all in that class and that tier together. Now, in 2011, D-Wade was pretty much the #1 guy offensively because it was Wade County, and dude was balling out there, especially in the NBA Finals. But the following season, in 2012, we saw Dwyane Wade. He wasn't that superstar anymore. Now, he was an all-star type player, but we saw the decline of Dwyane Wade very quickly. And I believe he was around 31, 32 years of age back into 2012 and then entering into 2013 as well. So we never really got to see LeBron James play with the full prime Dwyane Wade. And the only time we saw that was in 2011. And again, they should have dominated the league. They should have dominated the Mavericks, but LeBron folded. So I really can't put Dwyane Wade in that picture because you have Dwyane Wade, or excuse me, not Dwyane Wade. You got, what's the cat's name? You have Anthony Davis, who's 27 years of age, in his prime offensively and defensively. And he's going to get better as well as he's going to rack up some championships. But we've seen LeBron, he can take a second role offensively, a second fiddle if he wanted to, and let Anthony Davis eat out there, which AD was doing most of the bubble and in the finals. So that's why you got to put AD for sure. But overall on the career side of things, D Wade, because he has 2 titles with Bron, you would have to put AD as #2, and then Kyrie at 3.
Are important. He's one who recognizes as well as anybody does the way he's judged. He's being judged against ghosts. He's not competing with Kawhi Leonard or Kevin Durant or any of the other contemporaries. He's competing with Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson and guys like that. So all those things go into the conversation. This isn't the right way to look at it, but if you were choosing up sides or if you were picking a team from scratch, you would take Anthony Davis first, right? In that draft, if Anthony Davis, Dwyane Wade, and Kyrie Irving are all available to be drafted, Anthony Davis is the first pick, right?
Oh, for sure. If we're talking about the championship years, 2012, 13, 16, 20, out of those D Wades, those Kyrie Irving, and that Anthony Davis, Yeah, you would definitely have to go with AD, and then D Wade because of his experience. Even though he was a little more hobbled with his knees, he still showed up in 2012 the finals. 2013, you really kind of saw more of D Wade with his knees. 2014, they didn't win the championship, but Dwyane Wade was done with. He was done. But you got to put him over Kyrie Irving. Kyrie was young. He was 24 when he won the chip. He had that huge electric game 5 of the finals, when he pulled up 41 points. He showed out for game 6, and then game 7 with the step back 3 on Curry's face, pretty much the dagger to win the chip. Kyrie had those moments, but we're talking consistently in dominance. Anthony Davis, number 1, D Wade 2, and then Kyrie. That's just based on one season as a championship teammate. Now, if you're talking about LeBron's best teammate overall with his tenure of playing multiple seasons or multiple championship runs, you got to go D Wade 1. Right now, Kyrie, then AD at 3, because AD hasn't won the championship. But whenever Anthony Davis wins the championship, I'm going to have to still keep D Wade as 1. And then you have to move Anthony Davis to the 2, and then Kyrie at the 3 overall. But yeah.
Yeah, just because, again, both ends of the court, Dwyane Wade was a good defender, but he was an elite shot blocker for a guard, but he was not an elite overall defender. He was good within the team structure. I'm qualifying this 10 times over because I don't want to put any shade there. Kyrie was frankly a poor defender. Kyrie was a better individual offensive player, but LeBron can set up AD more than with Kyrie or with Dwyane Wade, where essentially a lot of times it was taking turns. The structure of their games flow more together. So, yes, in that scenario, I would take Anthony Davis number 1, and I think LeBron felt that way, which is why LeBron was advocating for the Lakers to essentially trade the whole team for Anthony Davis, and he'll figure out the rest. I thought at the time that the Lakers had overpaid for Anthony Davis and that it was going to hurt them building the rest of the team. And even from that time, LeBron didn't want to hear that noise. He was like, I don't care if you had to trade even more. Just get me Anthony Davis, and the two of us are going to make this happen. And they are backing that up with this playoff run.
Greeny and Windy with you, presented by Progressive Insurance. There's no shade here at all. This is one of those conversations that just having your name involved in it is an indication of how great you are. Dwyane Wade is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Kyrie Irving will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Anthony Davis will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Part of it is how well they fit with LeBron. And part of it too, Windy, is that LeBron is in a different place in his career, and I think mentally. When he went to Miami, he went there. He talked about it in that letter when he went back to Cleveland. He went there almost the way other people use college. He went there to learn, to experiment with something new and different, and Dwyane Wade was the right guy for that. He comes back to Cleveland, and he needed a guy who basically had no conscience. He needed someone who wasn't going to be afraid to miss a big shot, which is what you need in order to be willing to take a big shot. And now at the end of his career, maybe he needs someone who can carry him some of the time, and Anthony Davis is that guy. So in some ways, LeBron has planned it all out extraordinarily well.
That's a good scenario putting it. LeBron to the Miami Heat was like college. LeBron was in a learning mode because he's never won a championship. Now, credit, he did make the finals at 22 years of age in 2007 with Ugalskis, Drew Gooden, and the crew, Larry Hughes. But with LeBron James, whenever he joined the Miami Heat, Dwyane Wade it was Wade County in 2011. D Wade was a top 5 player in the league, like I was stating. He was a superstar. But the following season, 2012, D Wade pretty much gave most of the offense, and the spotlight of Wade County was now LeBron James in his world. And Dwyane Wade decided to defer to LeBron. And we also saw with D Wade with his knees started to decline a little bit. So it was actually perfect timing. And that's why the Heat were successful in 2012 and in 2013. Now, I wish we got to see a 2011 type all-star superstar Dwyane Wade. I wish he were that type in 2012 and 13. But D Wade was around 30 years of age and plus, so he started to, accelerate as a 30-year-old shooting guard in the league, which is what it is. But LeBron James, he joined back with Kyrie Irving in 2016. LeBron was now pretty much, Cleveland was his world. He could be Le GM. He can pretty much move players. He can pretty much decide, hey, I'm the point guard, Kyrie, even though you're a point guard, but I'm going to bring up the ball 80% of the time. You can bring it up whenever you want, besides from those other 20%. So it was kind of anarchy and chaos when LeBron went back to Cleveland because no one really put him on check. He pretty much would run everything his own way. So Kyrie and LeBron weren't the best mesh, for each other. Now, they were fine. But, it is what it is. He was a young cat. He could be inconsistent at times, but he showed up big in those finals with LeBron James. And they only won one championship together. And then now back to Anthony Davis. They're going to win a championship in 2020. LeBron pretty much can give you 15, 20 points a night if he wanted to. Rely more on Anthony Davis. And AD can handle that pressure. He can handle the load and put the offensive responsibility on his shoulders, which LeBron never had with a 2012, 2013 D Wade like that. Somewhat of a 2016 Kyrie because you're going against the Warriors, so LeBron had to show out with Kyrie Irving within those games. But, it is what it is. Definitely for sure, if you're talking about a one championship season, out of LeBron's 4 championship seasons, the best running mate, you definitely have to go with 2020 AD. But if you're talking overall, you'd have to go with Dwyane Wade because he's won 2 championships with LeBron.
Yeah, and LeBron has not had a great series by his standards. His statistics look pretty good. He's averaging like 22 points, 9 and 9 or something like that. But he hasn't actually been great offensively. His outside shooting has been poor. His mid-range shooting has been poor. He's been really good in transition, and he was able to get to the line last night. But if LeBron was giving this sort of offensive effort in other conference finals series that he had in the past, he would not be up 3-1, okay? Now, maybe he would have gutted out a game, and maybe he could have gotten it to 2-2, but chances are he would not have been able to do this. And I think it just shows Anthony Davis has been spectacular, especially these last 2 series, where he's just feasted on, a lot of times defenders who just can't handle him, And, these are 2 series back-to-back, Houston and Denver, where it is prime for him to put up giant numbers, and he is doing that, averaging over 30 points a game, hitting game-winning baskets. The idea that LeBron, I'll just go back to 2015. In the playoff game at that time, the series was 2-1. He was behind to the Bulls. David Blatt tried to draw up a play for Kyrie Irving with LeBron as decoy, and LeBron essentially grabbed the clipboard and said, "There's no way I'm ever going to be the decoy here." In the game, in game 2, where Anthony Davis hits that game winner, LeBron was glad to have been the decoy.
Wait, real quick. Listen, this is another topic for another discussion. Whenever the game is tied, LeBron James will never hesitate to take the quote-unquote game-winning shot. Now, when LeBron's team is down 1 or down 2 points and they need to make a game-tying or game-winning shot, that's when LeBron James is fine being a decoy, and he'll kick it out to like a Kyle Korver, Ray Allen, let Kyrie do his thing, yada, yada, yada. Let Anthony Davis take that last shot. And when AD made that jumper, game 2 against the Denver Nuggets for the game winner, the Lakers, I believe they were down 1. I think maybe down 2. I think it was down 2, maybe down 1. I don't know. But LeBron James was pretty much on the, I think it was the block or the elbow. And LeBron didn't even hesitate to pretty much, get open for a shot. Now, they may have thrown over to him at the very last option, but Anthony Davis was pretty much like, move out the way, give me the ball. And he jaded. So basically what I'm saying is, the game's tied. LeBron, of course, will take that shot like in Chicago when they're down 2-1. But if they're down 1 or 2, LeBron will not take that game-winning shot. He'll be very hesitant, even if he were to do so. But I'm not going to jump on the look clutchness conversation. But end things off. Overall, if you're talking about LeBron's best teammate for one season, it would definitely have to be the 2020 Anthony Davis, who won the championship with him. Now, I think second would actually have to be the 2011 Dwyane Wade, because D-Wade was a superstar at that time. Even though they didn't win the finals, D-Wade still balled out, and he should have won finals MVP if they would have won that series. But it is what it is. And then, again, if we're talking about overall, best teammate in an era or different season for LeBron, you have to go with D Wade because he won 2 chips with him, 4 straight finals. Then you would definitely have to go with Anthony Davis at number 2 because he would have just won a championship, and he was close to a Finals MVP, and pretty much taking on the offensive side and being a dominant 27-year-old offensively, defensively. Then number 3, Kyrie Irving. There's different criteria to this conversation, but LeBron James is very lucky to have an Anthony Davis type player in his prime. So kudos to him. Let's see how the Lakers finish off and see if LeBron or AD can win Finals MVP.